Hi, I'm Kelsey, creator of In Bloom Felt Studio, and today's video will be a thistle stem tutorial. The SVG and PDF for this pattern are in my shop, but this video will show you the assembly only. The materials you'll need for your thistle are felt, 1 shade for your petals and 1 for your leaves, 3 18-gauge wires, fabric scissors, wire cutters, floral tape, hot glue gun, and hot glue. Let's get started. When you have your pattern cut out, you're going to have 3 sets of these petals. I just thought it would be easier to show you 1 set at a time, and your leaves. So I'm going to set the leaves aside for now, and we're going to take our 18-gauge stem and get started on the petals. The petal pattern has 2 small petals and 10 of the larger size. So we're going to add our 2 small size onto the tip of the stem first, followed by the 10 larger. I added a little hole to the center of all of these. If you hand cut, you're just going to snip a hole in the center so you can thread it through your stem. So once you have your small piece threaded through the stem, line up the stem on one of the spikes, not quite all the way to the top, and then we'll add a little bit of glue. Fold the second spike over, let that dry, and that'll hide the wire. Once that's dried, we'll add a little bit of glue to the rest and then just pinch it up over the tip. Okay, once that's dried, we'll add the second small petal. And then when you add glue to all of these petals, we're just going to add a small half circle of glue around the center, push it up and pinch, and wait for it to dry. And that's the same method we're going to use on all of the following petals. Add the rest of the 10 petals in the exact same way. I'm going to thread mine onto the stem first, but you can also add them one by one. Now I just have them all ready to go. Okay, so that's what it looks like with all of the petals added. And now just take one of your green small leaves, the smaller one, not the big one. Snip a hole through the center of that one, slide it up your stem, and then glue it in the same way to the bottom of your petal. So just a small half circle here, no need to add glue to all of the little leaves sticking out, just in the middle. And there's our thistle stem. So when I make one stem with 3 heads attached, you're going to repeat the process on 2 other stems. I have the same petal pattern separated 3 times on the SVG, so you can repeat that process and cut them all out at once. Whenever I add another head, sometimes I like to add a little bit less petals than some of the others, so just like a 2 to 3 petal difference, just so they look slightly different for a more realistic look. So repeat the process, add 10 to 12 of your petals onto the next 2 stems, starting with the 2 small, followed by the larger. I've already gone and made my other 2 stems. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to repeat that process until you have 3 of these flower stems, and then we'll get started on the next step. When you have your 3 ready, you can position them wherever you want. I'm going to make mine sort of come together into this triangle point and be about equal in height. And I just bent these other two out a little bit. So holding that together, I'm going to rip off a long piece of floral tape and then start taping where these stems join together. Wrap it around a few times as tightly as you can until it feels like it's not going to budge, and then you can start working your way down the stem. You can make it as long as you want, as long as you clip it about an inch above where the tape stops, and that helps it to not unravel later on. So I know I want mine to be about this long. I'm going to use my wire cutters to clip my stem. Oop, that just flew off the table. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got it. You can hold it so it doesn't fly off like mine did, but here it is. I've got it all taped, and now I'm ready to add my last big leaf. So I'm going to snip a small hole, and then I'm going to thread it up my stem just to where all three of those stems meet again. And now I'm going to add a circle of glue and then just pinch this leaf up around the stems. So it's okay if they overlap one another. I think that looks like it does in nature. So I'm going to go ahead and add my glue and then pinch it up around the top. Okay, and there is your thistle stem. You can also move all of these flower heads too, which I think is pretty fun. Now you know how to make a felt thistle stem. Thanks for crafting with me, and stay tuned for our upcoming tutorials.